Good morning. Today is 27th, I think, and we are in the local vigilance area, and after a fresh snowstorm, I think Storm Bobby was what it was called, came through. We have about a foot of new snow. I'm surprised I got out today because I had to dig out the car and all that, but we did manage to get up here. So we're going to take a look around again like last week, check for tracks, that kind of thing, and that's about all we had for an agenda. I didn't actually expect to be out today, so this is kind of like a bonus round. So take a look, we'll see what we find, and the video will end up being what it is. Thanks. As before, the camera is temperamental in the cold, so we'll do what we can. It is a whopping 15 degrees right now, so and it is windy, so it is cold. I'm not going to go too high today so I don't freeze my ass off. So in the news, or just on my mind today, we were preparing for the snowstorm, so that's kind of the predominant thing going on. And the camera is acting up, so it's going to be one of those we make do as we can kind of videos today. One thing I would like to address, I got an email from a lady who wanted to join the Green Mountains long-term research project, and I asked her how she wants to participate, because I actually had another gentleman suddenly ask as well, and he said, like, are you operating out of Vermont? My answer is, we operate in Vermont along with other areas because it's part of a larger regional long-term research hence the name. So to that end, I guess we're going to do a little bit of an infomercial today. There's not really any gossip or any crap going on in the community that isn't already there. So ask yourself, if you're like looking to get in on this, what are you looking to accomplish in your own interest in the subject? Are you looking for a Facebook group? Because there actually are Facebook groups for each state that I'm active in where you can participate if that's what you want to do. The pages are intended anyway, that it doesn't always seem to work out that way, but are intended to be for actual research, field outings, that kind of thing. So if that's what you want to do, then okay. I mean, today, case in point, we're out in the southern Berkshires, so that's like Connecticut, Mass. But there is some folklore down this way too, believe it or not. But again, make note, it's 15 degrees. The snow is midway up to my knee. That's only because there's a hardened layer under it. If I were to start cracking through that, it's probably up to my knee. So, as far as travel, I consider this my local area, and I travel about an hour to get here. And the like. There are going to be other areas I go to in the not so distant future once weather gets over itself, winter-wise, and that's going to be like an hour out, hour and a half out in some cases. Not all, but some. So that is kind of what's involved depending on where you live and what you want to do. This is where it gets tricky. I'm actually walking along a logging path, and there's like logs and stuff down, so I'm actually walking on uneven ground with a whole crap load of snow on it. Not a lot of tracks out, which shows how I wanted to get up here when the snow is fresh, because that's when you find some of the more interesting things. Last year, we didn't have this much snow, so I found a deer kill and saw a mountain lion, which we also do have, not in great numbers, probably few and far between because they're not native to Connecticut, but they do get here. I have seen one. The DEP can tell me I'm wrong, but bobcats aren't the size of a mid-sized German Shepherd, and they don't have a long tail with a black dot on the end of it. So sorry guys, I know what I saw, and I'm not bad at tracking and identifying wildlife. And the difference between a cougar and a bobcat is not hard. we had lynx down here, it might be more sporting, but we, to my knowledge, don't get lynx this far south. Be cool if we did, but we don't. There are some weird divisions in Connecticut, though. We have up here in the northern end, moose and porcupine. You don't see porcupine south of like halfway down the state. I don't know why. They just don't got to get down there. Never seen any. Moose, occasionally, but not that often. Anyway, getting back to the infomercial, rambling though it might be. So it does involve being out in the woods. Day like this, we're going to do more day trips this time of year just because it's cold and not everybody likes to go camping in negative degrees, or at least when the real feel is like yesterday. Had I come out here, the actual temperature would have been about 12, the real feel about minus 12, and you can have that. You're not going to have a lot out here. Yeah, there's a log right there. So you're not going to have a lot out here with you when it's that cold. They're hunkered down trying not to freeze to death. But ask yourself, I do actually have a link. It's probably been a while since I've shared it online. I should probably do that for folks, but it kind of gives you the chance to identify what you bring to the table as far as what you know how to do, what you might need to learn how to do. Noobs are welcome. We're not one of the, I've had, I need to put my gloves on, it's cold. So if I'm shaking on the camera, that's me putting my gloves on. There are some groups out there that some people I've been out in the woods with have talked to, and they've given me the story that these folks are not all that noob friendly all the time. And one well-known group in particular is they're very well funded. I respect the work they do, but they've gotten arrogant, and I don't agree with their pro-kill stance either. But that's an argument for another day. I'm not going to get into that right now. But ask yourself, if you contact me like this, then ask yourself what you're willing to share, what you're willing to bring to the table, what you might want to learn, because here's the thing. I am not an expert in research. Anyone who says they are is full of it, because nobody's produced the proof that proves it's out there yet. And that's from little old me all the way up to Meldrum, Sykes, and anyone else out there, Discitel, any of them. And that's the truth of it. So anyone who says they're an expert, they're lying. There are no experts until you actually prove. You pull a body or a live specimen out of the woods, then you are the expert. But then you have a whole bunch of things that a lot of people don't want to see them found, because then you run the risk of like the harvest of the great white hunter, who's going to sit there telling you, we're doing this for science, but no, we already found it. It's right there. You just want to shoot the thing for the trophy. And if it is that human-esque, you have yourself some very ethical questions about shooting something that human. Do you go out in the suburbs and start hunting people, because you're not that far off of that conceptually? What is that up there? Deer tracks. I crossed those. Those are deer tracks, I think. Let's go look. I did cross them already, I think, and I think that's what they are. But in the warmer months, when I get more, not so I'm out active now, so there's that. But more the point, in the summer go deeper in. You will get your feet wet. If you have a problem with your feet getting wet, plan accordingly if you're coming. That is one disclaimer I do tend to give people. It stops over there. So we're going to go check out those tracks, if I can get through here without killing myself. But in the summertime months, yes, you will get your feet wet. Be forewarned. If you don't like that, educate yourself on tick protection. There are ways to handle it. Permethrin is a good starting point. You put that on your clothes and your gear, not on yourself. It will not be good for you. Do not put it on your dog. And you do this the day before, not the day of. Reason being, permethrin is a neurotoxin, as in poison. It does not deter ticks, it kills them. In the 5 years of using that stuff, using it correctly, I have not pulled the tick off me. Knock on wood. Yeah, these are sloppy deer tracks. For the most part, looks like. I want confirmation though. And right here, you kind of see the little hoof pattern. So yeah, whitetail. So that is more or less what's on my mind today. I don't really have a lot to, again, I didn't really have a lot thought out because I figured half the day I was going to be digging out my car. And what happened, to delve away from the subject for a minute, the storm was kind of unusual in the fact that, don't get me wrong, we got my part of the state and even this part of the state, we batted about even, but we were in the 12 to 18 inch range for Storm Bobby, I think it was. But you also had crazy winds, so I walked out to clean off my car. The wind had already done that for me. There was literally nothing on my car. It was all kind of drifted off. So I was parked in the right spot to not have to contend with that stuff. So kudos to the wind. Kind of a strange ally in this storm. It was kind of, otherwise I would have had a lot more digging to do, but I'll take it. So for the people that are reaching out, and they do seem to be Vermonters for the most part. Vermonters, I'm not really sure. One, thank you for your interest, and two, more than happy to have you along when I head out. In the warmer months, I am out weekly. In the winter, weather dependent, but I'm, like I said, I rolled the dice. I got up here today, and not a lot of tracks out though, because the snow is like, literally stopped snowing maybe 7 hours ago. So I'm going to have a look around and kind of wrap this one up. And like I said, this is going to be a brief one, partially also because not expecting to get out. I didn't charge the camera, and it's down to 2 bars, and there's something about how it measures the battery output. It goes from 0 to 1 very quickly and then dies on me. So rather than have an abrupt ending, I'm going to have an ending where I define its terms. So thank you for listening to my little infomercial. Got some nice little rodent tracks over there, probably some kind of vole. And we'll catch you the next time when we have a little more planned. I didn't bother bringing the drone today because, I mean, if you can hear the wind and you look up and you can, when the wind's blowing, you see the tops of the trees moving, don't fly your drone. You're just giving it to the wind. It will take it and throw it somewhere you don't want it to land because it won't land nice. I've done that before. And then I had to send it to the shop because it broke. So don't do that. Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you for listening, watching, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.